Yeah. Hello, I'm a chocolate orange, but most people take a T Luo 5458.
Cool.
We'll be back after one short break.
All right, let's try this one more time. Let's get ready to experience a journey of positioning, camera manipulation, and platforming. Let's put our hands together for AChocolateOrange.
Hello, I'm a chocolate orange, but most people take my initials, ACO, and call me Akko. Joining me today, I have lmjacks and Toluo 5458 as commentary and moral support. Say hello.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hello. Yeah. I also go by Tom, so if you ever hear that name,
Yeah.
that's me.
So Perspective is a puzzle platformer based around the concept of forced perspective, which you may be familiar from games like The Witness or Superliminal. But if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how the mechanics work right after we get into it. But this is a very fast-paced game, so don't blink. We can start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! All right, so immediately you'll see that we have what looks like a basic 2D platformer where we have these blue objects acting as obstacles and walls and things, and then there's orange objects that kill you, and the border is also orange, which means that kills you too. But big reveal, sorry, spoilers, third level of the game, it turns out you're actually in a 3D world, and now I also have this 3D character that I can move around to move the camera and change the perspective that I'm looking at this 2D guy in. So when I click, when I'm in 3D, I create a locked screen, and now I can move around in this as if it was a 2D space. So any platforms suddenly become solid, and the 2D character can't go through them. So you use that to navigate these puzzles and make it to these level gates at the end. And so a lot of the movement in this game comes down to optimizing so you move as little in 3D while using your 3D movement to optimize how you move in 2D. So you can actually, you'll see a lot of times I will move in specific ways in order to minimize the amount of movement I have to do in 2D. But a lot of the time save in this game actually comes from the skips, which you can see I'm doing the first one right here, where I'm just going to fall onto the floor and just skip about half the level here. So over here is a great example of the movement. So you'll notice that I am going as far as possible away from my little dude because he stays the same size no matter where we are on the screen. And what I mean by that is that you'll see that if we zoom out, if we're farther away from the character gets bigger in response because it stays the same apparent size on your screen. And so as a result, we can move really far away from the character and traverse a long distance very quickly. With that said, we're coming up on another little skip here. There's actually a few different ways to do this level, but this is the strat that I'm most fond of, and I think it's the fastest, but I could be lying to you. But don't tell anyone else I said that. Next we have the pillar. This is a pretty straightforward level. Squid, if you have anything to say, you're welcome to say something now.
Yeah, we got a $25 donation from Half-Eaten Hot Dog that says, "Oh yeah, GDQ is back in person. Super stoked to help support a great cause and community. Keep up the great work."
I'm pretty stoked too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can see in that level, there's a moment where it very directly shows you that your movements in 3D allow you to traverse a long space with the 2D character very quickly. So that's a very good tutorialization of that. Here we have the third big skip coming up. So the way gravity works when you lock the screen is it's always down. So I just fell upwards onto the ceiling. It's always down relative to where you're looking. So I can just fall through a hole I create for myself in the ceiling and skip about half the level. So you're probably starting to notice a trend here. Just create a gap for myself. There you go. Power Reserves has a really similar skip to Relativity, but this one has orange walls. So it's a little bit more precise because if I miss that, I die. But we should be good. Oh, I need to do that. All right, and there we go. The rest of this is pretty much movement. But basically, I'm just trying to stay as far away from the character as possible and move as little as possible.
Nice. Yeah, that skip is pretty tough because of the danger involved.
Oh, that's not happened to me before. You might have noticed while I was running past those arcade cabinets there, it said this screen is locked. And the reason it says that is because while I'm running past them, I'm holding E, which is a level entry button. And holding E basically inputs it on the first possible frame, which basically allows you to enter a level as fast as possible. It's not always best to enter the level as early as possible because where you enter the screen does matter, as we'll see in later levels. But in this case, especially since we're entering at an awkward angle, it makes it a lot easier to snipe your way into the puzzle, if you will. This level is pretty vanilla. So again, Squid, if you have anything to say, you're welcome to hop in.
Sure thing. I've got a $50 donation from Key that says, "Was not expecting to see a student game from my school at GDQ. Being in the speedrunning club was some of my most fond memories there. Nice run, Akko."
Thank you. Yeah, this was made by students at DigiPen, and I think they did an incredible job. I was actually in contact with one of the devs earlier, and I learned some insight about the game, which maybe I'll be able to share with y'all later. So this level is pretty interesting. You might have noticed there's this geometry on the walls on every level. Ooh, I might have messed this up. So let's just do that again. But you might have noticed this geometry on the wall in every level, but we can actually take advantage of it because that allows us to fall upwards like that. This game is pretty forgiving with regards to level restarts, and there's a return to hub world option as well. So here's another level where the entrance point matters. I might have to do that again. So again, I do have the return to hub world option. But basically we want to enter at the very top of this screen, and it allows us to skip the first half of the level. There we go. The rest of this is pretty straightforward, but there are stairs at the end here that can be a bit finicky. So I just... Oh, Lord.
There we go.
Yeah. Next up is long jump. So we're gonna have a couple of skips here. It's hard to explain exactly what I'm doing here, but basically I'm just getting around the corner so that I can fall onto the ceiling. The latter half is basically the same thing that you've been seeing so far, but the corner is important. Speaking of the corner, we've got around the corner here. And this one is the one that I actually talked to one of the developers, Po-Hung Cheng, about. And basically, the way this game detects collision when you're trying to switch to 2D mode is that it takes a oh, there we go, we got the skip. That was faster than I was expecting, honestly.
Nice. Yeah.
So it takes the collision from the GPU render and uses that at a low resolution so that the gameplay is consistent regardless of what resolution you're playing at. And that basically allows us to, it doesn't detect that there's a wall there that's blocking you, and so you can just go right through it. So this, you might notice that we're in the arcade again, but this time we have these moving blocks. So there's going to be 3 levels that we get to go through again. And compression artifact is the skip so nice you get to see it twice. So the only difference here is this moving block. Oh, that was strange. I don't know if you noticed, but the red bar did not stop me from making myself into 2D mode, but we should be fine. There you go. And then finally we have population chamber. So there's only 3 rooms in the redux of the arcade, and this one is the most changed. Means we get a nice new little skip. We're supposed to go all the way around on this rotating ceiling, but we just skip the entire thing and go straight to the end. And yeah, that's the end of the second arcade. We only have a few levels left. Squid, if you have anything to say, there's an opportunity now as well.
I do. I kind of have a long one. Is that okay?
Sure, go for it.
All right, we have a $19 anonymous donation that says, "Long-time watcher, first-time donator. Glad to see perspective being shown off at SGDQ this year. The game never fails to entertain with its mechanics and the skips that are being used during the run. Also, shout-outs to Akko for being such a knowledgeable, entertaining, and inspiring personality within all the communities they've been part of, and for being a great friend in general. I'm so glad that they got the opportunity to have a run at a GDQ event. Much love from the Celeste Friends Discord. Donation goes towards Runner's Choice."
That's really sweet. Thanks, Celeste Friends. Oh. I put my fingers on the wrong keys. The keyboard is a little bit smaller than what I'm used to. But there we go. Oh. All right, we're just gonna wait this out, I guess. So normally what I do here is what I call a 2-cycle. It's kind of a cycle, but like, oh my goodness. Okay, don't worry about it. It happens all the time. It was just bad RNG. There you go. You can check that off your bingo cards. Oh my lord. Yeah, really weird. I didn't know this game had RNG actually. I'm pretty sure it's deterministic, but there might be RNG to the cycles at some point. What am I stuck on? Oh, I'm stuck on that arcade thing. All right, there we go. We have 1 level left. But time does not end when we finish that level. I will call it. So this level we actually wanted to enter on the left, but I had an awkward exit to the previous one, so I just went in. And this is probably the most exaggerated fall upwards that you'll see, but we just do this. Oh, if I can get around. Just fall all the way down there. And time is coming up now. And yeah, that's perspective. This is a lovely little student game. It's free. You can get it on the DigiPen website, or you can get it on Steam. It's lovely. And I didn't really spoil a lot of the game because, like I said, most of the time saving this game is from the skips. So I would definitely recommend you check it out and try out the puzzles that I didn't get to show off. I do have one more thing to show off. There's an Easter egg in this game, which I'm not going to really spoil how you get it or what exactly it is, but I had this image made to represent the communities that I'm part of and my interests, and just to say thanks to everyone. So you can see over here we have Madeline from Celeste, and you've got Celeste Mountain. And you've got Lonnie, who is a character, the main character of Celeste Classic 2, which was created for the 3rd anniversary event, which is something that that we ran on the Celeste Community Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Celeste Community. You got Astra and Neon. We've got Maxo. This cloud is Maxo's symbol. So shout outs to Maxo. He made the music for 1B in Celeste, and he made some music for Spin Rhythm, which is a game I adore. We have Archie. Shout outs to Archie Thon.
Long live Archie.
And we've got a bino here to represent bingo. So this area basically just represents Celeste community. We're actually going to be on GDQ in a couple of weeks doing some Celeste bingo, so you should definitely check that out. And there's me with some drumsticks because I play the drums. And there's an Umbreon representing my lovely partner. And Bye Frog. You should put some bye hearts in the chat probably. And shout outs to my partner, of course, Cerulin, for making this image for me. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Oh, I think I forgot the perspective guy in here, huh? I should probably put him in there.
There we go.
All right. But yeah, thanks again to everyone I shouted out, to everyone I didn't shout out, to all my Celeste community friends, to all my general speedrunning friends, and to the developers of this game, to Pohung Chen, who responded to me, and the Quiggles, who made the music for this, which you don't get to hear, but you should totally get the game yourself and listen to it because it's lovely. Yeah, that's perspective.
Wow, what an absolutely neat game. How about another round of applause for AChocolateOrange? That was awesome. I do want to get one more donation in that came in at the end. It is from Sean Riley for $100. It says, hey, AChocolateOrange, I'm one of the Perspective devs and also longtime viewer of AGDQ. Super happy to see Perspective back on stream after nearly a decade. Thank you. And on that note, my watch has ended. This has been an absolute honor to be your host tonight during these fantastic runs. Thank you to all who donated. Thank you to everyone who's watching, and let's raise a record amount for charity this year. We're gonna take a short break and we'll be right back with more GDQ.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2022, live and in person. It's so good to be back, isn't it? I'm Helix, and though it is 2 a.m. local time, I am rested, caffeinated, and ready to read your donations well into the morning. Speaking of your donations, here's $25 from Duncan, who simply says, "Hello from Finland. Thanks for doing this." And thank you for your donation. And your donations all go to support Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, which is an international medical humanitarian aid organization that works in over 70 countries around the world, providing life-saving medical humanitarian care and speaking out about what they see in those areas. Their work aids people based solely on need, irrespective of race, religion, gender, or political affiliation. MSF relies mainly on the generosity of individual donors like you, as over 90% of MSF income comes from private donors giving small amounts. And Games Done Quick truly is an international event, as we have $25 here from Her Majesty the Boo, who says, "Greetings from Scotland. Been looking forward to SGDQ, such great events. Cheers to the staff and runners who make it all possible." They do work very, very hard. Slothington again. "I was hoping to make it to the event this year, but there's always AGDQ or next year. Keep up the amazing work you all do, and hype!"